We're back at it this time in season 4. We're one episode in, and now today it's episode 2, but it kind of feels like episode 1 since the last one was wrapping up the last season.
Yeah, it does. But I'm sorry. What's with the hat?
Oh, I just thought about like trying out a hat. You know, wearing a hat for the video.
Okay, yeah, new season, starting new things, but I got to tell you, it doesn't really work.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's 2 things for this channel that don't really work, right?
The Enterprise remains docked at McKinley Station, undergoing a major overhaul and refit following the Borg incident.
Oh, wow.
Continuity.
Direct continuity.
Continue with the testing, Mr. Worf. Here's the final schedule for the shore leave and for the personnel transfers. By the way, I'm looking forward to meeting your parents.
His parents? Oh, adoptive parents.
I'm sure we could arrange for you to have more off-duty time while they're here.
No, sir. That will not be necessary.
Dismissed.
Something tells me they don't get along.
If you're worried that they might learn about what happened on the Klingon planet...
Not at all. I have already informed them by correspondence of my discommendation.
Continuity?
I do not believe any human can truly understand my dishonor.
Across seasons, too. At first I was like, aren't his parents dead? And I was like, oh, wait.
Your help has been invaluable during my recovery, but look, I'm better. The nightmares have ended. All I need now is a little time to myself.
The little purple scar he's got on his
Hey,
head.
dude.
If you wish to believe my going home is a direct result of being held captive by the Borg, be my guest.
Is that what you believe?
I hate it when you do that.
It's perfectly normal after what you've been through to spend a great deal of time trying to find yourself again.
And they're really digging their heels in, huh? I mean, it's just like full on. Like, wait, is this show episodic or what happened?
It's kind of nice.
We got like a double hook there. We have the Worf hook and the Picard hook. 2 different stories.
Family drama, going back home, no Enterprise blowing up. We're gonna get some grief.
We got trauma, shore leave for Picard.
I knew season 4 was good.
Family. I mean, that makes sense given.
They still have not signaled.
No, sir.
My mother is never on time. It is so human of her.
Well, you know women.
Okay.
Oh, Chief.
Energizing.
Oh, it's gonna be so weird.
Mother, father.
That's funny. Just human parents. Like, I knew we had
Put
human.
on a little weight, huh? I cannot give you a complete tour. Oh, I'm sure if you ask the captain... No.
You agreed not to embarrass him. Your hair is a little longer, isn't it, Worf?
That it is.
Your prosthetics have improved in the last 3 years. Oh, shit.
Oh, man, here we go, on location.
That looks good. Just keep walking.
I know who you are.
Then you have the advantage.
You're my nephew, Jean-Luc.
Nephew?
I'm not your uncle. It's the other way around.
Too bad. I rather enjoyed the idea.
Father says you don't like it here.
Robert and I, perhaps it's time to change all that.
You know, you don't seem so arrow.
Oh, arrogant.
Arrogant?
Yes, arrogant. You don't seem that way to me. What does it mean anyway? Arrogant son of a...
Let's talk about that.
So, Robert Picard, huh?
You get the French name. You get Robert.
Yeah.
God, look at this.
Jean-Luc.
Marie.
Oh, it is so good to finally meet you.
Meat. Jesus.
They said 20 years.
That's true, yeah.
I might be imposing. I could very easily stay in the village.
I wouldn't hear of it. It's your home and it will always be your home.
Also, it's so interesting because he's on Earth. Like,
Yeah.
I know they went to Earth in Conspiracy, but all we saw was, like, they were in a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is exactly as I remember it. A house, hills, every tree, every bush.
His childhood home and his brother got it.
seems untouched by the passage of time.
Robert's worked hard to keep it that way.
Robert.
It's very important to him.
Makes more sense.
I half expect to see myself as a boy come running out of that door to play.
I'm picturing a kid, but with the card's haircut running out.
Alright, who is it? Okay, not what I expected.
Shuttled in from the village?
No, I decided to walk. I met Marie and Rene.
Good.
I was wondering why he was walking like that. Like he got dropped off far away.
You know where everything is. You generally eat about 8. I must try and cure this poor, sick vine.
Isn't that kind of late?
It's like, you want to catch up a little bit? No.
Yeah, nope. Ooh, here we go. Nice shot.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Got a pretty big vineyard there.
And I love it's like this old-fashioned farmhouse vineyard and then just the future.
Yeah.
These Star Trek videos are pretty cool, right? We agree, and we're glad we're able to do them. And the reason we're able to do them and put them here on YouTube is because of our sponsors over on Patreon. Our patrons give us the resources to not have to worry if all of these videos are going to get claimed by Paramount. Anyway, specifically, this video is brought to you by our annual target demographic tier patrons.
That's right, and this isn't just a sponsorship of some company trying to shill their horrible mobile game. These are real people and some of our closest friends that we hold very near and dear to our hearts. And their names are David Felgate and Joe Concepts.
I love those guys.
Closest friends.
And these guys paid for the whole year of our highest tier up front, which gives us the resources we need to do things like buy these movies. Oh, these aren't for the channel, by the way.
So you'll have a chance to visit the surface?
Woo!
Maybe.
Got some curls going on.
Come in. Great. Thank you.
Get out of your geek.
All right, good. One take. You did great, kid. Good job.
Jack Crusher. Oh, no.
Why is she just getting that now?
Something from home?
I left it here in storage a long time ago after Jack died.
Oh, okay.
Because they're by Earth.
Right, like that old uniform.
How to advance your career through marriage?
It was a joke. Jack recorded a holographic message for Wesley just after he was born. It was a gift for him when he grew up.
Wesley's never seen it.
She's never seen it either.
Wesley has a lot of questions about his father, things that you can't answer for him. Perhaps seeing this will help him understand.
I don't know if I can handle that, man.
Can you imagine seeing the last message or the last thing your father or husband ever said? There's a great movie called like Love Liza, I think, which is about that, where this guy, famous actor, his name is blanking on me right now, but his wife like kills herself and she left him a letter and he doesn't read it. And the movie is just him dealing with his life.
Yeah.
We have taken enough of the commander's time.
No. We're way ahead of schedule here.
What? Why don't you show me the arboretum?
Commander LaForge, call me when my father wishes to leave.
Turbolift 4 is just over there, right? I have all the specs and diagrams at home.
Oh, that's public information, huh?
I mean, he did work.
Yeah. Veteran.
I just hope it's not some weird plot where...
If you have a couple of minutes, there's something else I want to ask you.
Oh, no. Not him.
Is he dying?
It's about my son.
It's gonna cut away, isn't it? Damn it!
Not yet.
And I see no good reason why the Earth should have another subcontinent.
It's really quite exciting, actually, if you understand the potential of exploring a new world on our own planet.
Brought that up before. Underwater countries.
The mayor wants to give you a parade.
Who do you think's older, Robert?
Yeah, I'm not trying to be mean, but he looks it.
He's also been working out in the sun his entire life. Picard's been working in space, no sun.
Jean-Luc also probably moisturizes regularly.
This is the 46.
47. You've been drinking too much of that artificial stuff. What do you call it? Synthahol.
Oh, is he gonna get drunk? Actually drunk?
Maybe. But he's busting his balls for drinking fake stuff.
Delicious, Marine.
And it's real food.
Sadly, cooking is becoming a lost art. That's your wretched technology again.
Okay, come on, dude.
Robert and I have had more than a few discussions about getting a replicator in the house.
Okay.
But in my view, life is already too convenient.
Yeah, it's the same argument people had in like the microwave.
Yeah, I was about to say microwave.
I once wrote a report on starships when I was about your age.
Did you win a ribbon too?
I don't recall.
And I don't find your modesty very convincing, brother. Of course you won the ribbon. You always did.
Oh, boy.
So it's that kind of relationship.
You weren't so narrow-minded. You allowed him to see the world as it really is.
You raise your own sons as you would wish. Allow me to do the same with mine.
Why did you even allow him to come visit? You clearly don't like him or want him there.
He probably didn't even know he was coming.
You think his
probably
wife?
Marie's like, oh, Jean-Luc's coming back. He's what?
If I'd listened to you, I never would have taken that cycling trip with the Bloom sisters.
And broken your leg?
I got married twice.
To the sisters?
Yeah, both of them at one time.
Why don't I send over some of the internal studies on the tectonic problem? Since you're interested, we could use any thoughts you might have. All right.
All right. All right. Scene's over. All right.
You can tell the cameraman's trying to keep up. Slow down, slow down, slow down.
So interesting seeing Jean-Luc just like act like a human.
I love it. I hope the shoe never drops.
I wish you would be a little more reserved.
We go too far sometimes.
We're just excited to be here.
Riker to Lieutenant Worf.
Oh, thank God.
Maybe we should just leave it alone.
I can't just leave it alone. I'm his mother.
Think you're going to tell him? Worf, we're not really your parents. We adopted you. I'm aware of this.
How come you never gave him prune juice?
I beg your pardon.
Continuity.
I learned to cook rock egg blood pie.
However, we never quite learned how to eat it.
Part that looks out the window towards home. He's not looking towards the Klingon Empire. He's looking towards you.
Dude, how's Guinan just such a boss? Just like, oh, complete strangers? I just give him a great speech here.
And so it's probably her only scene, too.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Lewis mentioned that the Atlantis project needed a director, and I found myself actually thinking about it.
Leaving the Enterprise?
Given a little time, maybe you and your brother might even get to like one another.
Seems one-sided.
You're not like part of the family. You are part of the family, Jean-Luc Picard.
What are you doing here?
I've set up a meeting.
Meeting?
Just a preliminary conversation. Tomorrow morning?
Preliminary to what?
They want you. I mentioned your interest in the project. That's all. That's all I had to say.
I'm on vacation here, bro.
At least listen to them, Jean-Luc.
But, I will give the Picard, like, he's not a people pleaser. Like, he's not going to get pressured into taking this job,
Yeah, no.
Very good, fine. I'll listen.
You won't regret it, Jean-Luc, I promise you. I'll see you in the morning.
Like when the one guy offered him the job to be the teacher, he's like, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, expected this scene to end with Robert. You come into my home, and now you're going to take this job.
Yeah. Did you want the job? No!
Yeah, you did.
Your father made it a few weeks after
Oh, she's telling him.
Oh, boy.
Why?
He felt it was important to say certain things.
I'm not ready to cry, Alex, okay?
I am. I need it. It's been a while.
You know what it says?
No. But he wanted you to have this when you turned 18. And I want you to have it too.
So he's 18?
Look at that tan.
Everyone has a tan all of a sudden. I mean, I got it for Picard because he's trying to be hot, but everyone else, it's like, damn.
Are we disturbing you?
No. No.
Whoa, look at that chair. Have we seen Worf's quarters before?
I don't think so.
I don't count the blue room from the bonding.
We just came by to tuck you in.
Please.
What if those were his quarters?
After we read your letter about the discommendation from the Klingons,
We didn't exactly understand it all.
we didn't have to.
He did write them a letter. Okay.
Whatever you are suffering, you must remember we are with you.
And that we're proud of you. And that we love you.
Good stuff. Yeah, he said in the opening scene that he wrote him a letter right after it happened.
Gotcha.
I'm glad he didn't, take a break for a while.
Oh,
get out!
I'm not used to drinking the real thing.
I just want Picard to go, do you have a fucking problem?
Yeah. Robert, leave me the fuck alone. He's going to try to drink him under the table.
I'd like to see.
A little drinking competition.
Mind if I ask you a question? What the devil happened to you up there?
Is this brotherly concern?
No.
did you come back because you wanted me to look after you again?
Damn you!
Whoa! Damn! Oh, and the jump on him, too. It wasn't just the one punch, he needed more. They're both making all money. Oh, God. Here we go. And the boss from that job's gonna come up. What is this? I can't hire you.
I didn't want to work for you anyway. Punches him.
Gets him in there. Yeah.
He used me to kill and to destroy, and I couldn't stop them. I should have been able to stop them. I should have been able to stop them. I should.
My brother is a human being after all.
Wow. So many emotions in the one scene.
I didn't come back so that you could help me. You know what?
I still don't like you, Jean-Luc.
He's
Marie's gonna be like, what the hell?
Credit to both actors is getting in the mud, literally getting in the mud.
Yeah. You know, Patrick Stewart having to switch up so fast, you know, from anger to laughing to crying, you know.
So great.
What
Now they're drinking together. Singing.
It's
It's entirely my fault, Murray.
yes. I fell down, and then he fell down, and
She's
then
just glad that they're talking.
Fell down. The ship will be ready to leave orbit soon, and I belong aboard.
Look at that shot. That lighting.
Yeah, the natural lighting. It's not actually natural, probably, but
Yeah,
you get my point.
It looks natural. Oh boy.
Computer. Load program Crusher 1.
He definitely has gone through some puberty for sure.
And it's gonna be in the holodeck too. It's not even gonna be like one of those, you know, hand ones.
Oh shit.
Oh god.
Run program.
Oh, I thought it was just gonna be the empty holodeck with just the dad.
Hello, Wesley.
Oh, it is?
It
Okay.
is.
As I make this recording, you are about 10 weeks old. I wanted you to know who I am today.
Rose Young.
I hope you don't grow up resenting the fact that I was gone so much. That comes with this uniform. Maybe you'll understand when you get this recording. Maybe you'll even want to try one of these on. But you'll probably be a doctor, like your mother. I love you, Wesley.
Goodbye, Dad.
He says goodbye, Dad. I'm assuming it doesn't just erase. I'm assuming he can watch it
replay it.
whenever he wants, but...
He could probably tell the computer to create an AI of his dad from that video. and any records and recordings of him.
How about Beverly, though? Just marrying a pure Chad.
He wasn't Chad, I will say.
Here is a little of the 47. Do not drink it all at once. And if possible, try not to drink it alone.
Nice.
Come on, give him a hug. Give him a hug.
There you go.
See how his face was trembling when he... But as soon as he can see that he's in view, he goes back to that stoic face, but... Oh, God, man.
Probably the most emotion he's let out in years.
Quite a ship you have here, Captain. You had the full tour, I trust.
Well, actually, there's still a few areas because of the repairs.
Sergei.
Yes, okay. I have all the specs and diagrams at home.
He's still out there, dreaming about starships and adventures. It's getting late.
But let him dream.
Oh.
And then he reaches over and a broom forced into his hand. All right, all right.
Okay.
Let's get our boards ready.
All right.
This season, we are revealing what tier we grade each episode without saying anything about it beforehand. Oh, you wrote yours horizontally? Did landscape style, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Oh! Threw in the plus, too. Well, it'll be interesting to see what the differences are.
I seem to have made a rather disturbing discovery.
Family reunion takes a twisted turn.
What the devil happened to you up there?
Turning brothers into bitter rivals.
I even enjoyed bullying you. Damn you!
A tragic homecoming on Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, the punch was a nice surprise when we saw it, but
Yeah.
I get it from a teaser standpoint of like, oh wow, Picard punching his brother, like that's cool.
Yeah, no mention of Worf's thing at all. And also, Worf's parents, but it's...
Yeah, and why bring back the old guy again? I guess they're going back and forth, maybe? I don't know.
They were on the right track of this
Yeah.
season. But speaking of the right track, this train is going right in the direction I want it to go. Because family is my favorite episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation Season 4.
Wow!
So far.
It's in both of our top two.
No. Yeah, it's like it's almost as if Ronald Moore, Les Landau were just like taking notes, watching me watch seasons 1 through 3, and they jumped in their DeLorean and went back and like wrote this episode just for me. I mean, we even made jokes in the beginning, grief or just, family drama, therapy, and it's like, this is all this episode is. And the entire time I'm like, all right, Worf's dad's going to be a shapeshifter Romulan motherfucker or whatever. But no, it never happened. It teased it for a second where like the dad...
Geordi? Like the dad and Geordi?
The dad something, I'm afraid I'm going to have to, like what? But nothing ever came of that. Continuity out the ass from the last episode. And not just the last episode, previous episodes, previous seasons. It's like, holy shit, the game is changing. Yeah, I mean, we'll get down to the nitty gritty, but just an overall, like, yeah, I love this episode.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it as well, obviously.
But, S.A., so I like to hear, I mean, we have gripes and groans, but let me hear your positives.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to agree with basically everything you said there, and it's not even that I really have gripes or groans about this one. I don't know if we'll even really have that section. Maybe we will. But I just felt like, while I agree, and I loved all of that, for me it just didn't hit that level. And that might just come down to, it just didn't. I don't know. Like I said, later in Gripes and Groans I can explain more specifically, but just overall, I enjoyed everything. The Worf storyline is excellent. The Picard storyline is excellent. The Wesley and Dr. Crusher storyline in Jack Crusher is really good. So it's not like, again, it's an A. I gave it an A.
An A is a passing grade.
Yeah.
A really good grade.
But I just felt like, I guess, back to what we've said in previous episodes, I have to be consistent. Like, we're not going to get this premise again. And I felt like some of the things could have been done better.
Okay.
And it just, none of it made me super emotional. None of it made, of course I'm connected to these characters and there are certain scenes that I really, really loved. But I just overall wish I loved it a little bit more. So that's all I can really say, though, because beyond that, I'm just going to praise everything else that you already praised about it. I'll go a little bit further, just name a couple things you didn't. The whole thing just feels like it respects that we know this show. We know these characters. And a show doesn't have to be serialized for it to show that. So, like, TOS was purely episodic. Like, a couple mentions of continuity in the entire series. But I always felt that show respected that I knew what was going on. I mean, the first episode, it just fucking throws you in. It's like, good luck. But it just, like, expects you to know. And TNG sometimes I just felt like didn't. Like, a lot of times. In the over-explaining or my new favorite quote from season 3, "This is my family, my friends here on the Enterprise." Like, look at the difference between that to this episode.
Yes.
And it's just ironic because, with episodic TV, people like to give it the excuse of, well, you have to remember it's episodic. They can't think that you watched every episode. Well, no one fucking told Ron Moore that about this episode, because if you didn't watch all of TNG, oh well, sorry. Like, it just throws you in and it thinks that you've watched it all. We have, up to this point. So it worked on that level.
Yeah, I'm picturing people. those poor people who didn't watch every episode, like, why are worse parents human? Because they didn't go into over-explaining, oh, yes, my human parents, because after my homeworld was, attacked, I was raised, it's like, no, it's like, if you watch the show, you'll know.
Yeah.
And I respect that so much. There was no crazy amount of explanation or exposition onto why the relationships were that they were. It's like, even with Robert and Picard, they didn't go right away into saying, Robert, my older brother, the bully, who was always jealous of my, it's like, it's slow, like Robert's a dick at the beginning. You're like, why is he such a dick? And like, as the episode goes along and it builds up to that fight, it like slowly feeds you the information with those tense dinner scenes, even the tense scene in the vineyard. It doesn't hold your hand. It's just like, it just paints the picture and adds a little more strokes as the episode goes on to paint the full picture. It's great! I love it. I also want to praise Robert. I loved his performance, played by Jeremy Kemp, not Robert, as we thought at the beginning.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It's like, oh, he just gets the American name, huh? No, Robert.
Yeah, I think that was because, so we use subtitles, and
yeah.
I think that's one of the rare things where, like, when we heard Picard say his name the first time, we probably just didn't catch on to how he said it, and obviously the subtitle just says Robert.
Yeah.
There's no pronunciation in the subtitle. So that was just a rare thing where if we had not had subtitles on, we probably wouldn't have thought that at first, so that's just funny. But, yeah, go on.
Yeah. I love the shot of just Picard just walking down the French aisle. It's like, oh, why is he just walking? And he has that cute little scene with his nephew where he mixes up the terms between uncle and nephew. I don't know. That was cute. And I love at the end how, like, you think Robert's gonna be like, you're gonna work on the vineyard with me. You're not gonna be like your brother. And it's like, let him dream. And the hug scene. The hug's my favorite because the entire time Robert, perfect actor for this type of role, just. But after the French kiss on the cheek and then the hug, just that, because no one can see his face. He lets all that emotion out for like 4 seconds, and then like Bill Burr just shoves it all back in after the hug. It's like great direction. If that was either him or the actor, either Les Landau or if that was the actor who did that, but just fantastic stuff.
Yeah, that scene reminded me exactly of. Did you ever see A Star Is Born with Bradley Cooper?
Yeah.
Sam Elliott.
Oh yeah,
his brother in that. The scene.
The last scene.
I guess small spoilers for Star Is Born.
When he's backing up.
Yeah, when he's backing up, and he, after Bradley Cooper says that line to him about looking up to him his whole life, and then he's backing up and just tears in his eyes. That's exactly what it reminded me of. Not on the same exact level, obviously, and their relationships are similar but different. Like in that movie, Sam Elliott and Bradley Cooper don't have necessarily like a very contentious relationship, but regardless,
younger brother successful.
Yeah, older brother. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed all of that. Another thing that you love, credit on the end. Credit pop up on the end.
Instead of like the force broom, you should have just pulled out like a communicator. All right,
how did he get one? Yeah.
Yeah. How did they get one? Yeah.
Or drawing a communicator or something.
Yeah, something. Just end on
drawing the Enterprise.
Yeah, ending on the scene. The relationship between those two was just so great. The fight. I got to bring up the fight. You can tell they didn't use stunt people. Maybe for like when he trips over the barrel, but you can tell they're awkwardly like, I don't actually want to hurt you. What are we doing? Because they're like this, and Picard's like. They're not really like actually after the punch. It was kind of just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And then like just credit to both the actors just literally getting in the mud, that dirty, like caked in mud, and then just laughing. And then Picard finally having his breakdown, like I saw everything happen and I couldn't do anything about it. And then Robert saying, so I guess my brother is human. Like, that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And to the fighting thing, I think that actually is too realistic to, fighting with someone like your brother, or like if you and I were to get into a fight like that where, it starts off with a punch, but then it's like, you're not trying to brutalize this person. You're just angry at them. So it's like, when I would get in fights with my brothers, I have 3 brothers, and like growing up, you just like tussle with them and throw them down. It's not like you're sitting there whamming on them.
Not like Batman at the end of the bat.
Yeah. So it's like it's even realistic in that manner, even though that's more of a coincidence because it is just like actors. But yeah, I thought that was all. I mean, that whole scene's probably the best one of the episode of them in the mud. I mean, so many different emotions, starting off with the anger and resentment, going into the laughter after they're in the mud, and then Picard immediately breaking down again continuity about the previous episodes and what he went through. And I also like the little touch of, I don't know how much has gotten out there, but clearly, like, there's a story. Like, people are aware of what happened with the Borg, and what was it? Battle of Wolf 359, I think it was
Something,
called?
yeah.
Or
I mean, this
357?
happened pretty close to Earth. The entire Earth had to be on. I mean, if I don't know what the news networks are like by then, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
10, more than 10 starships were like wiped
I think I
out.
said like it was like 47 or something.
Oh yeah, geez, so that's huge news. Of course, they probably knew about it.
Yeah, and but I didn't know if they knew anything about if word got out at all about the Borg specifically or what happened with Picard. But it seems like they know something happened, and Picard going into that was excellent. I also really loved the opening scene with him and Troy, where Troy again doing a great job as a counselor, just like kind of probing, but not forcing him to say anything, but just kind of questioning him and the joking back and forth. Oh, I hate when you do that.
Yeah, the mirror shot and then the pan all the way around the room.
Yeah, great camera work too. Another excellently directed episode by Les that's not in your face or anything. It's just really well cinematically directed.
Guinan once again, just one scene and out, just with it. It's like no one starts conversations that way. I mean, I get it. Guinan's like a thorough alien being, so of course. But it's like I'm picturing like, let's say there's like a person at a bar who I want to talk to, and I'm just like, it's funny as the sun sets and the moon shines on the glasses in the bar. I think about where my life has gone. Hi, Alex. Like, what? Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah, it's such a movie and TV thing where, like, in real life, if she started saying that and they were like, what was that? I'm sorry, were you talking to us?
Yeah, say that again?
But she's just continuing on. I mean, it's literally the SpongeBob.
Oh, no, I lost my pen.
You can borrow mine.
Thanks.
I lost something once. My identity.
So anyway, thanks for the pen.
No problem, hon.
They look over. Yeah. So, but it was great, and she is amazing. I mean, it's so funny. I think all the way back to starting season 2, and being like, oh, it's gonna be weird, just like Whoopi Goldberg in this show. Like, little did I know she was such an amazing character and great actress. I mean, damn it.
Yeah, she's Guinan. Yeah, it's like I don't see Whoopi Goldberg, I see Guinan.
Yeah, and that's the same for everybody in the show.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
I was
true.
worried about that with Frakes. I was worried about it with Patrick Stewart, but no, they all have disappeared into these roles.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about the Worf story much.
Yeah, because I do enjoy the Worf story, and I love Worf pretty much accepting his parents, accepting that he does care for them and all that. I just wish it went a little deeper.
Yeah,
maybe like not see Worf literally have a Sarek level breakdown like it's like I lost my I just wish like the shoe never dropped of there being a plot. This is gonna blow up. So and so's gonna die, and I love that to death. And the balls to do that on the second episode of this season. The first real on its own episode, because number 1 was the end of a 2-parter, obviously. But with the whole thing with Worf and his family, I don't know if I needed to see more. Like as much as I loved it, it also felt very shallow. Like Worf has been excommunicated like from the Klingon Empire, and like I don't know if I needed to see him more broke. I get it, Klingons are very stoic and all that, but still, you're excommunicated from everything your entire life you've looked up to, and it almost feels like he's shunned. He's not like ashamed of his human parents, but like it's hard to explain. I don't know if I needed to see a more deeper effect of that having into Worf. Like, oh my god, like everything I believed in is wrong. I've been living my entire life like this, and I don't know if he needed like more affirmation from his parents. Or
I think the separation for me of why this wasn't an S initially for me and why it didn't hit that next level, unfortunately, is I think that the stories and the writing and everything was all excellent. I don't think any of these guest actors were that excellent. None of them were horrific. None of them were even like bad. But like you praised the brother, I didn't care for that actor that much. I thought he was over the top. I thought he was, he fits the character, sure, but like that scene, the hug scene, amazing. Great emotional acting there. But I thought, for example, like Patrick Stewart was on a completely different level with him in the scene where they were fighting.
Okay.
Like Patrick Stewart felt like Picard, this other guy felt like an actor. And the same thing with Worf's parents. Obviously, they're more comic relief. The dad is like goofy as hell, and the mom had really charming moments, like loving mom. I bought their characters, they're not anybody I'm going to get emotionally invested in. You know,
Okay.
they're not to the level of like a Loaxana Troy, but still similar where it's like, oh, goofy parent characters. Like, I'm not going to get super invested. It's more so about like the Worf side of it. And Michael Dorn, we've like praised so much and all the episodes focused on him, and I felt like he couldn't get into it because of what he was working with. Like the parents, and I wouldn't even blame fully the actors on that one, because also the writing too is very clearly for comedy. So it's like they couldn't dig in. And then lastly, okay, real quick, I will also say the kid didn't like him, but he's a kid, whatever. I'm not gonna pick on the kid. It's a kid. Get him out of the episode. And then also my biggest disappointment, Jack Crusher. When they first introduced this thing and it was going to be a speech from Jack Crusher, you got to hire a good actor. Like, you got to hire like someone that can deliver that fucking monologue, you know. And it's like it just came off wooden, and it just came off like a random dude on the street who looked like he had a stone jaw and could be in Starfleet. Like, do you not agree? Like, I feel like that was the most disappointing scene to me.
That's a tough scene to do as an actor. That's tough. That's really tough. You got to hire like the best of the best for that type of scene. And I will agree. Yeah, it's a guy talking to a camera, you know, trying to give it's like doing an audition. The guy basically filmed an audition, but like he had Wesley there in front of him. I'm assuming he was obviously there. You know, those two in the same scene. But it's like, yeah, a little more emotional preparation, but that's a tough scene to do. That's a really tough scene to do.
And I do agree that it makes sense for that character. You know, this dad's filming this brand new baby. He doesn't even know what he's doing. He just plans on filming these, and he's like, this is I'm gonna be doing this. So like, it's realistic in that way. But then like, even on that side, it didn't come off that real to me. It still came off like he was just reading lines, and it just wasn't. It's just like, for that's supposed to be the emotional pinnacle of Wesley's character up to this point, and like Will Wheaton is outclassing you by saying nothing. Like, Will Wheaton's like little grab and then goodbye dad was better than anything that actor did.
Yeah, maybe it's tough. I'm looking at it another way. Maybe it was tough for the dad to film that, or awkward for the dad to film that. You know, that's probably just an excuse to allow that kind of performance. Because like, I don't know, me filming a video for my kid, it'd probably be worse than his.
True, and that's why it's tough when it's like, it goes back almost to the Guinan thing about like, oh, real conversations don't start like that. Yeah, it's a TV show. And it's like, I feel like for what they needed here, for that speech, like, it needs to be an emotional, hard-hitting speech. So while, yeah, realistically, not any guy who just had a kid's going to be able to deliver that, it's like, okay, but just like, be an actor for this TV show. You know, it's like, if I want an awkward, real conversation, I'll just go have one with someone in my real life. Like, so it's tough. I get it. That was disappointing to me more than the other characters, because I was really, like, when she brought that up, I'm like, oh, this might destroy me, and it just, like, I got nothing from it, basically. And now it's gone. Like, now it's like, well, that was Jack Crusher. So now, like, I can no longer have any type of imagined image of him.
That's true.
That's who it is.
I can just imagine Beverly and Wes, like, this is, like, the last words of, like, because once you open it, like, that's it. Their entire existence is gone, and like, just have a little bit like of mystery left of a person, you know. Like, I feel like that's something special, and I can imagine how tough that was for Beverly and Wes to open that, because once it's open, that's it. You know what I mean? It's like, it almost feels like a part of him is still there, like similar to the way Philip Seymour Hoffman or Robin Williams, like, they're dead, right? But there's movies of theirs that I haven't seen, so in a way, it kind of feels like I haven't seen all of them yet. Like, they're still here in a way, where it's like there's part of them I haven't seen that I can see. Yeah, you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, like you said that before with Bill Paxton.
Yeah,
I agree about that. I really haven't seen any of Philip Seymour Hoffman's stuff, really. So, again, I love any scene in the empty holodeck. I thought I was going to be disappointed when he goes in and he's like, computer start program. I was like, oh no, it's going to like go to some environment, his childhood home or something, or where he recorded it. But no, it just stayed in the empty holodeck. And some people will probably say, oh, that's because of budget. But like, whatever the reason is, I don't care. I liked the choice. It's like, just have it in this empty holodeck. It kind of, the empty holodeck to me is really good at setting the isolation of the characters in there, because you're not distracted by anything. It's just an empty base. So you just see Wesley and the hologram of his dad, and that's all there is to focus on. Over on Patreon, we're going to be having our extended exclusive discussion topic for this episode, which we have over on Patreon for every episode this season. And this one was inspired by our patron, John1701. We're going to be talking about why Star Trek does not need sci-fi in its plot to have a great episode. So go over there and check that out.
Worf's parents. One, the mom was a little bit more like, a little bit that too much, and I needed more deep conversation with them and Worf about what happened. Not a letter. Like, maybe it would have hit harder if he told them in this episode, maybe, instead of a letter. Instead of just like, oh, we heard what we read your letter. Would it hit? Because a lot of it was just like, oh, I have all the specs and blades of every ship. It's like, I needed more getting deep with those three.
I 100% agree.
Because when it did happen at the end, I felt a little something there, finally. But all the stuff beforehand was just like, eh. And like I needed like Worf to not break down, but just something like everything I ever believed in was wrong. And like, he's basically the best Klingon ever, but it's like, something where like, I don't know, the dad's like, you're the best of, both, best of both, something, you know what I mean? It's like, and Worf like finally accepting like the human side, and being like, just something.
Yeah, because
he's always like, oh, Klingon, you're gonna make, because even the dad even says like, oh, he didn't want anything human food, but just something where Worf accepts like he's like the best bridge between the two. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because here's my take on it too. We don't need Worf's parents, like, we don't need their assurance to Worf. Like, it's clear from the moment they show up, like, they love Worf. They are so proud of him, and that's awesome, right? Like, and Worf's the one who's, like, embarrassed of him. So, or embarrassed of them. At least that's how it comes off.
Yeah.
So, like, in that last scene with them where they're telling him, like, just so you know, we're here, we love you, and Worf gives him that smile, like, that's a great scene. But I mean, that's like the opening of the can. That's not the deep. What we need is Worf saying that to them. Like, Worf needs to be saying to them, guys, I know it was hard raising me. I appreciate you learning how to make Klingon food for me. I appreciate what you've done. I know I act like I'm embarrassed of you, but I love you guys, and I appreciate you as parents.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
And I think they tried to communicate that all just through that one moment, but we didn't get it. And I feel almost like, for all the praise we've given Ronald Moore, I feel like he was scared to be like, oh, we can't have Worf do all of that because he's like a Klingon, so we'll just have Guinan do it for him. And it's like, Guinan's great, but it's like, you can't just have Guinan do it, Because it's like in the Sarek episode, Picard telling his wife, Sarek's wife, like, he's loved you, he always has, and she's like, yes, I know. We have, years in real time of the franchise of knowing Sarek as this non-emotional being. I can buy it. But with Worf, yes, he's a Klingon. He's not non-emotional. Like it's just, like, to me, a bridge too far. Like, to have the scene that we needed with Worf and his parents to happen with Guinan. Like, Worf needed to tell them that. It was nice with Guinan, but, like, that's how I felt about it.
Yeah, it's almost...
Maybe it happens eventually. But
it's almost similar to, what is it, The Enemy? When Worf refuses to do the blood transfusion.
Mhm.
Like, I almost wish, instead of just that, and Guinan seeing it, I almost wish it didn't happen then. They continue, make us wait, maybe.
I don't expect to ever see these people again.
Oh, yeah.
So if I'm wrong, maybe that's my mindset will change if they show up again and we get more. But like the Romulan thing in The Enemy, the reason I love that so much is because that could be addressed again easily.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we're getting this again. I think this was it. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's tough. Double-edged sword. Yeah, I did. Yeah, Worf, like, accepting and thanking his parents for raising him, especially after what he learned about the Klingon Empire and after being so Klingon, and realizing, hey, maybe, the human parents weren't so bad. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. Because obviously they weren't, like, obviously they were excellent parents and did the best that they could.
Yeah.
I think he says one thing to them to that extent about them being really good parents, and again, it's mostly just Guinan explaining it to him, like, well, the Worf I see comes in here, drinks prune juice, and looks to want to be at Earth, and it's like, yeah, he's got to tell him that. So that's what was missing, in my opinion. When I realized that was the last scene with his parents, I was like, oh shit, like, that was the end. Well, I mean, not the scene of them leaving and stuff with Picard, but, like, that wasn't,
Yeah. We'll probably never see his parents again, but yeah, it would have been nice to have some localization. Like, the bonding, like, arguably, my second favorite episode of season 3. You know, just like him with the kid. You know, we are brothers. You know what I mean? Instead of like, I don't know, Guinan telling Guinan explaining the kid to him, the whole thing, but Worf actually doing it himself hits harder.
100%. All right, so in addition to the Patron Takes, we're also doing a Patron tier list for this season. We gave our tier list grades for this one. Alex gave an S+. I gave an A. And our patrons overwhelmingly gave this one an S tier. So all members on the Patreon, even free members, all you have to do is literally just join as a free member, get to participate in these tier lists at the end of the season. We'll do a tier list for the whole season, and we'll look at what the patrons thought of the whole season. So it's a lot of fun. I'm expecting, obviously, positive takes given the S tier rating.
I was 12 when this one first aired, and coming off of Best of Both Worlds 1 and 2, it felt like a letdown. I didn't like it, and I didn't get it. Now at 46, having lived more life and lost my own younger brother to war, I think it's my favorite episode of the entire show. Well, I'm sorry about the loss of your brother, but yeah, this is definitely one of those ones where I can see myself, 14, 15, you know, seeing this. Yeah, like, what is, you know, this... where's this? Yeah.
That was a boring episode. I'm going to watch the next one. I had a really bad accent when I was younger. Go ahead.
But no, just growing up and realizing why we watch these things and what's the hook that keeps us in.
Yeah, there was a part of me, though, that even when I was younger, too, that loved some, you know, cheesy stuff. You know, I mean, one of my favorite movies as a kid was, you know, Liar, Liar. I love my son! You know, so, you know, but I agree. And yeah, I am sorry, obviously, about your brother. My condolences there. But favorite of the entire show. That's something.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah.
One thing that always strikes me about this episode is, despite his complaining, how much Worf clearly loves his adoptive family and how much they love him. I was really happy with the fact of them loving him so openly and clearly, because we didn't know anything about them, and that, you know, I think them being cold wouldn't have made sense. Like them being distant, like Riker's dad, for example, wouldn't have made sense for Worf. I had problems with it, like I said, but I think it was the perfect writing for them, despite I thought the comedy was a bit thick. But beyond that, I really liked it.
Yeah, it needed to be the exact opposite of Riker's dad, yeah. This episode was needed after the Best of Both Worlds. It's not going out and exploring, it brings it back to Earth and grounds Star Trek in the familiar grounds Star Trek in the familiar. There's a period there. Picard's breakdown in the vines, that's Patrick Stewart's best moment in the whole series. The whole series, holy shit.
See, and that's, I totally respect that, but it's like, for me, I would already put the moment in Sarek above it, and there's probably a couple more that maybe I'm just not thinking of at the moment. It was a great moment, don't get me wrong, I praised it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, it just didn't hit me that deeply to where I'm like, best in the whole series. It's amazing, but it was really, really good.
Yeah, for sure.
And what do you think? As far as what I like, would you say it's the best so far for him? Or?
Well, I can't speak for the best of the whole series, obviously.
Yeah,
but I do love the Sarek breakdown. But but I also love the Picard moments. Just
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just that the one with the Shiliak. You know, that's one of my favorite Picard moments ever.
Yeah.
Just
and then dusting off the thing.
Yeah,
Captain. Yeah.
But no, I love it when he breaks down. It's good. But yeah, I will agree that it was needed at the Best of Both Worlds. We just came out with this big two-parter. Let's have some character development.
Fun fact, this was the first Star Trek episode to have no scenes on the bridge. I didn't think about that. That's crazy. Based.
Good point. No data either.
Oh, shit.
No data at all.
Yeah.
Shut up! Sorry. Michael Piller, who wrote The Best of Both Worlds, pushed for it to be followed with an episode focusing on Picard dealing with his trauma. But Berman insisted that a science fiction B story be added. They couldn't make the sci-fi element work, so Berman relented and it became a pure character episode. It was given to Ronald Moore, and Gene Roddenberry hated his final draft, an indication of how little control Roddenberry had over the show now as compared to season 1. I don't know if it's Ridley Scott with Prometheus and Alien Covenant. I don't know if it's Scorsese with Killers of the Flower Moon. I don't know if it's Vince McMahon. But
yeah, all definitely on the same level there.
And strong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like so I'm glad they were able to be like, no, sit down, Gene.
Yeah, a couple of things. First, I love that they said they tried to do the sci-fi and it just didn't work. That's happened a lot, Rick Berman. You should have noticed that in other episodes.
It's happened plenty of times,
yeah.
pal.
And then secondly, I saw someone put in the topic ideas post about Roddenberry hating it and about how he's like, oh, this would never happen in the future. Like his brother, this wouldn't happen. And it's like, I get where he's coming from wanting the idealistic future, but it's like, dude, what franchise are you making? Like, look at TOS. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just weird to me that he from what we've read anyway, he was so like idealistic to the point where, did you not even want conflict in your show? Like, it's just like very odd. He wanted his show to be like a after school special, like, you know what I mean? It's like, what?
Yeah, I think I heard that they struggled to write conflicts because of how Gene wanted no you know what I mean? It's like, Picard's brother should have been Patrick Stewart and a mustache dead.
What does family give you? Pain, embarrassment, emotional support, rubbing your face in your trauma, and mud, because that's apparently what you needed. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, perfectly titled episode too. Yeah.
Yeah, and a family can, it can make you tear your hair out. And I would extend that, not only blood family, but anyone that you would consider your family. Like Worf, for example, adoptive parents, or even it's just someone you've been close with your whole life, or whether it be your spouse or whatever. I think that that's what it's all about, man. That's what the human condition, as they say, is all about.
Yep.
Great take.
Hot take. This episode is better than the Best of Both Worlds. And I think part 1 or part 2. Probably means part 1, but I might agree. I don't know, because this is exactly my cup of tea. You know what I mean? I need this injected into my veins because it's exactly what I'm looking for in media. Just like if you look at my top 10 movies, a lot of them just fall into that same category of what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And in terms of TV shows, this like if I had a top 10 episodes of TV from any TV show, they'd all be very similar. But that's me.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this probably isn't a hot take for the Star Trek community, but I think hot take for our channel is that I don't think I would agree. I think I probably enjoyed both parts of Best of Both Worlds more than this.
Okay.
But not by a lot. And they are completely different episodes.
Yeah.
But like part 1 is a truly unique, experience. And then part 2, like I gave both episodes an A so far, and I just would put that one as a little bit of a stronger A. Although I will admit that when I was writing down what tier for this one, like you saw me struggling. Like I was thinking S, because it has everything we want. It has everything we said. It didn't make the mistakes we see. It didn't fall into the trappings that it has in the past. For those reasons alone, I wanted to put S, but I couldn't ignore my disappointments with Jack Crusher. My disappointments with, some of the things.
Could you say it needed a little better execution?
Yeah, for me.
Because I think the blueprint was there. The blueprint.
Oh yeah.
The blueprint.
And obviously it worked for you.
Yeah,
it
worked for me.
executed well for you. Yeah.
I mean, sure. Jack Crusher was whatever. I needed a little more meat on the bone with the parents of Worf, but blueprint-wise, yeah, it looks great on paper.
During the Best of Both World Part 1 reaction, you said you wanted a wind-down episode, but you doubted you'd get one. Here's your big treat. People mostly remember this one for Picard breaking down, but I love that Worf finally accepts his dual heritage and Wesley gets to stand in full uniform before his holographic dad. I actually recorded a similar video for my daughter a few days after she was born because of this episode, just in the event something happens to me before she grows up. And I think I think every parent should probably do that. And I if I will give this episode that, in the Jack Crusher storyline there, I don't know if I'll have kids, but if I do, yeah, that's definitely something that I would like to do. For sure. You got a good luck Charlie it.
Good luck Charlie. Yeah, document everything. No, that's a good take. Hey, Alex, welcome to your favorite episode of Star Trek ever. Best scene, Patrick Stewart knows Picard so well. What we see is a complete breakdown for Picard, just a couple of tears, and only his brother there to see it. That's true. It's not in front of anyone else, just his brother. And his brother's probably seen his tears many times when Robert was beating his ass, bullying him when they were kids.
I'm not going to put you completely on the spot, and I'm not going to make you say it for sure, but do you think that's a wild statement, your favorite episode ever, or could it be maybe reality?
It's not my favorite episode ever.
Okay.
It's not my favorite episode ever.
Fun fact, this is the only TNG episode to not have Brent Spiner at all. There we go. Or any scene on the Enterprise bridge. We did know that. Other than that, I have nothing to add that hasn't been said. Perfect episode. Yeah, the only TNG episode to not have Brent Spiner at all. Spoiler!
The only episode not. Okay, so great. He doesn't die. Wonderful. That's great. The one question I have is, will this episode finally make Alex and Josh actually feel sympathy for Wesley Crusher for once?
First of all, hilarious take. Good job. But I will say, again, I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but I think the bonding did it so much better. I mean, in that scene where he goes into Dr. Crusher, asking her about his dad and, and almost coming to tears, him and Dr. Crusher, and then them hugging, that was a million times better for me. But
and then Wesley confronting Picard, that did it a lot better.
Yeah. Of all the Star Trek TNG episodes I have known, this was the most human. The terrific acting, writing, and direction make this episode that is relatable and brings everyone a little closer to the universe of Star Trek. I agree. Great take.
Yeah, for sure. Vin Diesel's favorite episode.
I don't have friends. I got family.
Vin Diesel reacts to family TNG? Yeah, the thumbnail wouldn't be, it'd just be...
Another TNG episode, now in the books. Did TA hate it, or did they get hooked? Will they ever get it? We may never know. TNG season 4, let's go! Warp speed, engage, engage. Warp speed, engage, engage. Warp speed, engage, engage. Warp speed, let's go! Talking over dialogue, laughing at odd times. You may get bothered, but TA feels sublime. They tear into your favorites, they love ones you hate. Yet you can't get enough of the reactions they make. They pause for big moments and make clever jabs. One half of the scene they will always yap. They've been at this for years with many more to come. Join this journey, set your phaser to stun. Warp speed, engage, engage. Warp speed, engage, engage. Warp speed, engage, engage. Warp speed, let's go, let's go.
Give me that.
Josh and Alex in cosmic time. Warp speed, engage, engage. Warp speed, engage, engage. Warp speed, engage, engage. Warp speed, let's go.
You know, I'm just gonna like cut out however long it takes and skip to us being ready, but I'm deciding between two here. You know, this is actually, you'd think this would be like just an easy dumb thing, like fuck.
He'll do the right thing.